Hi, it's Chris. Sue and I recently went out to see our daughters in Seattle and we stayed at an Airbnb. And it had a bidet and I had never used one before, but it was pretty nice. So when I got back, I checked into ones that you can add on to your existing toilets. So I got one and this is how I went about installing it. Look what's arrived. Well, the box looked in pretty good shape. Nothing inside looked like it was broken. It's got a bunch of pieces here. Just sort of lay them out, check them out. Got the seat, remote control, some mounting stuff, some tubes. The manual's pretty straightforward. The first part tells you how to use the system and the back part tells how to do the installation. Well, the first thing I got to do is replace this old seat. Take the seat cover off. These caps snap up and then you can undo the bolt underneath. The old seat is removed. And next I'm going to have to turn off the water and drain the tank here. So you just have to turn this valve clockwise to shut it. And then you have to flush the toilet a couple of times. Since this tank has a rim around it, you can't fully drain the tank through the valve. So I'm going to have to put a pail underneath and it's going to leak a little bit. And I've got rags set down here to catch the water. I unscrewed the hose and actually it didn't leak too much because it's still sealed up here. So I'm installing the T-valve here and you only do that hand tight. I've reconnected the water supply hose and I did both these just hand tight. Next I'm installing the mounting plate here. There's two bolts that go through and then tighten down here. It says to connect the bidet hose here. So then the seat cover slides in until it locks in the back here. And then I think you adjust the bolts so that the seat is correct here in the front. And then you can tighten them back down. Next you have to connect the flexible hose to the T here. It didn't say so, but I put some Teflon tape on it since it was metal on metal. I had to put Teflon tape on the supply hose because it was leaking. So I opened the supply valve and it was leaking here, but I put Teflon tape on it. Seems better now. It's filling up. To test it, I plugged it in temporarily to a GFI socket. Everything seems to work okay, so I'm gonna have to go put a GFI outlet back here on the baseboard. I mounted the remote control underneath the toilet paper. It was easier for me to reach. There's a couple of buttons on the back where you can turn on and off the night light, and there's a sensor that only turns the light on when it's dark. And then there's some power saving modes. You can turn on the night light here in the back. So when the light's off, you can see the light below. And then if you turn the lights on, it goes off. I installed a new GFI outlet. The installation is all done. The seat cover installation only took me about 30 minutes, but it took me about 2 hours to run a whole new power line and put the GFI box in. The remote's pretty easy to use. There's an on button here. You can set the seat temperature. You can set the water temperature. There's a wash button here and a fan button. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing I saw lacking in the instructions was I think they should have told you to use Teflon tape on the metal fittings and they should have included some. The toilet got pretty good reviews. I'll put a link in the description. There are quite a few other brands, but this one seemed to be a good compromise. Well, I hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit like and subscribe, and have a great day.